Hello and welcome to Freedom Through Astrology, where we're giving you the keys to you living your best life. I don't know how many times I've been working on this recording today. It's just not been my day. This is freedomthroughastrology.com. My name is Donald Patak. I'm your astrologer. There's my contact information for email if you have any questions. This is standard YouTube copyright. And some keys to this reading. First of all, I read using what's called sidereal astrology, or astrology by the visible sky. Tropical astrology fixes signs to seasons, so it's approximately 25 degrees ahead of the visible sky. Visible sky astrology asks, where is the planet in what constellation right now? It's the big issue between the two different systems is called precession of the equinox. And they even admit, and tropical astrologers will even admit that they are ahead of, but neither here nor there. But I'm using the visible sky as opposed to fixed signs, number one. Secondly, I am using what's called the natural sign size, the natural size of the constellations. And here's one of my wonderful technical difficulties. It's called a cat. So I'm using the natural sign size. Some astrologers will have all the constellations the same size. I allow them to be the natural size that they are in the sky. So for example, Virgo is almost 50 degrees in the sky, whereas Aries is around 25. So the constellations are all different sizes in the sky. And I also use an ancient sign called Ophiuchus, which is the wounded healer. If you get your hands on the book, The Lost Zodiac, can't see that probably because of the lighting. But The Lost Zodiac does talk a little bit about how Ophiuchus was a 13th sign. They removed it because they went to a 12-month calendar. There's really 13 new moons in a full year. So whatever. But it's the symbol of the wounded healer. It's where you're wounded in your life. You learn the lessons to heal yourself so you can heal others with similar wounds. And what I'm reading are the weekly transits. So these are the universal lessons for everyone. So I'm not going to apply these to houses because that would take too long to start with. But these are the universal. So these are like big picture lessons that we're all here to learn. And last but not least, I read what's called evolutionary astrology, which says that these are lessons to learn. Some astrologers will use this as use astrology for fortune telling and predicting good luck. Some planets are benefics versus malefics, etc. Planets and the constellations are teachers. They're here to teach you lessons, and I do my best to highlight the lessons you came here to learn. This is the weekly transit report for January 15th through the 21st, 2024. The moon is moving, very busy this week, sort of. Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, and then into Taurus. So two of the signs are actually very large, so there will be some stability in the sky for the most part, which will be good. So emotional stability will be good. Sign changes. Venus is entering Sagittarius and the sun is entering Capricorn. So we're exploring new relationships and new ways of relating to people. And the sun in Capricorn, the ego, the self, I'll talk more about that later, is interested in achieving a great work. Active in the sky, Mercury, learning communication. And communication is talking, but it's also listening. So it's also being able to listen. Last but not least, major transit in the sky that some doom and gloom astrologers are going after. The sun and Pluto will be conjunct in Sagittarius. I'm going to put a little different spin on that hopefully helps you see it in a more positive light. And this is our overview of the week. Pull my face down here. And as you can see, starting on the 15th, these transits are spread fairly nicely throughout the week. So it's a fairly steady week. The energies are fairly steady. And like I said, even the moon. It's going to do a long stretch through Pisces. It starts in Aquarius. We'll get a long stretch through Pisces, quick hit for a day in Aries, and then it sits in Taurus. So two very reasonable, very large sized sign, and then with Pisces, and then Taurus is fairly decent sized as well. So with the moon, there is some stability. All right. We begin with Venus is in a fucus and a trine to the north node to Pisces. Venus is in a fucus. Venus is healing. Venus is about relationships, being able to work with other people, receiving help from other people. I also I also included in the text and my references are rest and relaxation. Venus is also creative, so I like to talk about that a little bit and have that as a thought. In a fucus, it's learning how to heal. And it's working with the North Node, which is an evolutionary destiny. It's a lesson we came here to learn, ideally pass, and that's in Pisces. And Pisces, North Node in Pisces, the lesson is learning how to transcend situations, go with the flow. Just get down on my lap. There we go. We'll have a cat commercial in a moment, I'm sure. So this is healing your relationships, healing your ability to work with other people, rest, relax, even be creative, and learning to go with the flow. And the trine is an easy energy to work with. A little bit of energy, things will happen fast. So if you focus on the healthy aspects of it, if you focus on a healthy outcome, it's very likely that you will get that. However, if you focus on the shadow, you will also get that. And the shadow, Venus, can be very manipulative. Let's put it that way. Can be very slick and manipulative. And in a fucus, it's causing wounds instead of healing them. So think of that backstabber. And with the North Node in Pisces, the shadow of Pisces is escapism and numbing pain and just not wanting to deal with the world. So this is causing pain and numbing yourself to the pain of damaging and wounding relationships instead of trying to heal it. I'm going to come back to the moon in Aquarius in a moment. At the same time, we have Venus in Fucus in a sextile to the South Node in Virgo, and the sextile is an excitement or an interest. So this is pulling away from it. So Venus, like we talked about, is about healing relationships. The South Node in Virgo, South Node is showing you a bad habit to leave behind, something that's holding you back from growing. And in Virgo, it's perfectionism and unrealistic expectations. So this is showing you how really realistic expectations in relationships and working with people, even in kicking back or even being creative, is holding you back from achieving your dreams. So this is showing you how perfectionism is holding you back. The previous transit of Venus working with the North Node is showing you how going the flow can bring in the healing. So this is very powerful. Now the shadow of the South Node, like I said, is perfectionism. You can double down on that and become even more critical, more controlling, and that can create even bigger problems. So again, this is a sextile, so it's an interest, it's an excitement. So ideally, you can see how perfectionism is holding you back, or you can embrace it even tighter. Let me jump back to the other one. Moon in Aquarius. The moon in Aquarius. Moon in Aquarius wants to feel authentic and real and be its real self. So it's time to feel authentic. Look for the path that speaks to you being your real self instead of being who society says you have to be or whatever. That's ideally, and with it crossing Saturn, Saturn's a great work. So this is the great, just as it crosses over Saturn, it's the great work of you becoming, you being your true self. The shadow is falling into either conformity and being just like everybody else because you want to fit in. One more cat. Or you can become wildly eccentric and stick out like a sore thumb. So that's the shadow. So you can be your real self, or you can be this person that just blends in, a nameless face in a crowd, or you can stick out like a sore thumb. Okay, Buddy. This one I had another kitten called Buddy, and he unfortunately passed on. And I've been trying to find a name for this little guy, and he only responds to Buddy. So I don't know. I don't know, but very, very Aquarius type cat when you look at that pattern. So we'll just keep them there. Also, from this weekend, we have, we did that already. Moon in Aquarius. The sun in Sagittarius is in a sextile to Neptune in Pisces. Sun in Sagittarius, I'm going to talk about the sun. The sun represents your ego, and you came here to have a healthy ego and to heal your ego. There are these people who believe that you came here to shed your ego and become. Your ego is your personality. So I'll use myself as an example. I was born in Taurus, so I came to have a Taurus as the ego. Learn how to be calm in the middle of the storm, chill. Read Ferdinand the Bull. Go to the children's section in the library. Pick up the story of Ferdinand the Bull. That's the lessons of Taurus. So the sun, the ego in Sagittarius is exploring new ideas and new ways of having a healthy ego and new interests. And Neptune in Pisces, very interesting. Neptune is about receiving inspiration, being open to inspiration. Pisces, learning to, I like to say Pisces is transcendence. Simple way of saying that, learning to go with the flow, receiving this inspiration. So this is a sextile or excited to receive inspiration about new ideas about who you could be or who you are as a person, what your ego is supposed to be like. Wonderful thing there. Let me see. Be open to inspiration and expectation. Being able to rise above and release what is holding you back is always a blessing in this situation. The shadow, we all know what an out of control ego is. And in Sagittarius, you can be overconfident and bossy or really underconfident and not sure of itself. And Neptune in Pisces is escapism and trying to get away from things. So the shadow here is embracing pride. Embracing pride or just trying to be invisible opens the door to escapism and an undoing of the self, empty lies, a false self-image, and making a false self-image. So the outcome of this transit in the shadow is the creation of this false self-image, and everybody is going to see through it. On Monday, the moon enters Pisces, and the moon represents the soul, the emotions, and Pisces is looking to transcend, get above the situation, go with the flow. In this case, it's seeking a new vision and new opportunities for spiritual growth. And as you can see, Pisces is a fairly long transit. So this is going to be, so the moon's going to be transiting through Pisces, I believe, all the way through Thursday. And it's going to pass over Neptune, hopefully receive inspiration. Chiron and heal. North Node is an evolutionary destiny, so achieve some destiny. The shadow is withdrawing from everything and everyone. And yes, Pisces does need its time alone. You know, do know that there are times to be still, meditate, and relax. That's fine. You may need to be with other people, though, so be careful about just pulling away constantly and not wanting to be around anyone. That could be a sign you're on the wrong path. Yep, there we go. Tuesday, we jump into Wednesday. Mercury in Sagittarius in a sextile or excitement to Saturn in Sagittarius. Mercury, learning, communication, listening, Sagittarius, having faith and trust in it, and exploring, finding new ideas, going off the beaten path. So learning these new, interesting, and exciting things. And this is in Saturn, which Saturn is about maturing and growing in what? Aquarius, authenticity, you being your real self. So this is an opportunity for you to explore new information, new ideas about who you really are and being open to these ideas about who you really are. My notes here say exploring what makes you authentic. And Saturn, self-discipline, knowing that if you use your self-discipline, it can lead you forward in your drive towards authenticity. If you feel hesitant, both Saturn, and Sagittarius, you know, take that step. Be bold enough to take that step. If you feel hesitant, take this step, move over it. Saturn rewards you when you do the work. The shadow, what I wrote down here from reading my notes, again, Mercury can be a know-it-all or not wanting to learn at all. Sagittarius, over or underconfident. Saturn in Aquarius, the shadow of Saturn can be very controlling. Aquarius, it can be, hold on a second. Sagittarius, the shadow, can either be wildly eccentric or it can be a total conformist. So be careful of mental laziness. My notes here say no deposit, no return. It can become very easy, become lazy, and just fall into this idea of just being excessively colorful and out there, or not wanting to do any work at all and not wanting to learn and rejecting every idea and every inspiration, and just becoming a conformist. Oops, let me pull this down. 17, 18, 19. There we go. On Thursday, the moon enters Aries, and in moon, your emotions. It's a time to be bold and brave. Emotionally, you want to go one more step than you feel comfortable. That's all Aries is asking you to do. Learn courage and assertiveness. Take one more step. And we have Jupiter in there and Uranus. So Jupiter is brain just left, hold on. Expectations can be expectations, seeing what's possible. And Uranus is all about your authenticity, who you really are. So being brave in those areas. But what do you have here? Be bold, be brave. Expect challenges to arise may require you to be braver than you feel. All Aries is asking you to do, like I said, is just take one step further. Falling into fear and expressing it through either anger or cowardice can result in a waste of emotional energy and effort. So being a very angry person or totally fearful can result in a disaster. Also on Thursday, we have Venus in Ophiuchus in a square to Neptune in Pisces. And again, Venus in Ophiuchus, as we were saying before, I should have thrown that on the first slide because Venus from the weekend. Venus in Ophiuchus, healing, learning to heal relationships, creativity, how you relax and rejuvenate. Neptune is about receiving inspiration. So this is the challenge of receiving inspiration that can help lift you up and overcome. So what do my notes say here? Releasing stress by just being still and receiving that inspiration. Maybe the challenge of being calm to receive the inspiration, receive the healing that you need. Focus on what you, and my notes here also say focus on what you find beautiful. Venus does rule the arts, both like the physical arts, like painting, sculptures, etc., and also music. So where do you find beauty in the arts? It's a wide open answer. Maybe challenging because of the square, but if you put the work in, healing can result. Be careful of falling in love with an illusion of your own creation, can lead to suffering and loneliness. Like I said, Venus can be slick and manipulative. This is the shadow and causing wounds. Neptune in Pisces, illusion and delusion. And with a square, that's what you're building, is this delusional world where nothing is real. And it can result in suffering and loneliness, Pisces, loneliness. And on Friday, this is where all the doom and gloom astrologers are having their hissy fits, whatever you want to call them. I don't know. This is where disaster is being predicted. I'd like to paint a different picture. I may do a full, deeper reading on this. But we have the sun, your ego, the self, is in a conjunction or joining with Pluto, the planet of transformation. And I always say planet, not dwarf planet, because Pluto is technically bigger than Mercury, has an atmosphere, and 5 moons. The reason it's called a dwarf planet, because evidently there's this chunk of rock in the asteroid belt that's bigger than Pluto. Well, if it's bigger than Pluto, it's bigger than Mercury. So I always refer to Pluto as a planet. All hail Pluto. All hail Mercury. All hail Pluto. Pluto is a planet. It is the planet of transformation and change. The sun in Sagittarius is looking at new ideas, new information, and new inspiration. Pluto is taking a look at ideas that you have and saying, is this really work for you anymore? Yeah, keep it. If not, let it go. Look at it like, look at Pluto in Sagittarius like you're going through your wardrobe. You're putting something on. Does it fit? No. Get rid of it. Put another thing on. Does it fit? Does it even look good on you? This thing looks hideous. Get rid of it. That's what Pluto in Sagittarius is doing. It's helping you go through and sift through the ideas and information and inspiration that you have. And if it works for you, great. We'll keep it. We'll incorporate it. But if not, we'll let it go. It's a cosmic house cleaning, so to speak. And it's working with the sun, the ego. And the idea here is to take the ideas that the ego has. Is this real? Yes, keep it. If it's false, get rid of it. And ideas to build a healthy ego. And we're going to touch more on that. So this is the time to integrate deep truths into your life. Release what no longer is serving you or your higher interests. And missing this shadow of the sun. We all see the ego out of control or the person who just doesn't want to be themselves. Sagittarius can be overconfident or underconfident, and Pluto can be very destructive and very, very wounding. And in Sagittarius, like we said, overconfident, underconfident, very rigid and dogmatic. So missing this can lead you to lose an opportunity to heal and change. And if the ego does get out of control, you could become the very thing that you fear. So the shadow of this is you becoming what, Dr. Frankenstein becoming his monster, so to speak. Dr. Jekyll becoming Mr. Hyde permanently. And that's 19th, 20th. This is all weekend. And also on Friday, and this is, I think, a help here, is that the moon is, your emotional self is entering Taurus, looking to find peace and calm and stability. Taurus, and that's, like I said, read the book Ferdinand the Bull and you'll understand Taurus. No, buddy. Don't play with that, please. Don't want the laptop or the tablet to go flying. That's my notes. The moon in Taurus is here to help you learn how to become calm and centered. Seek out times of peace and quiet for yourself. So yes, there's times to be with people. This could be also a time of finding a little peace and quiet. Taurus, getting outside in nature, if the weather permits, barring that, if there's an indoor zoo or an aquarium or a botanical gardens or being around plants or your pets, always a good thing. The shadow of Taurus, the phrase stubborn as a bull or very lazy. It will get you stuck in a rut of the wrong path. So let's choose calm and centered, especially with that Pluto sun energy. Go through Saturday and Sunday, the sun enters Capricorn, and it's really at the tail end of that transit. Sorry, I don't even remember how many times I've been trying to record this. Technical and cat difficulties. The sun, the ego, the self working in Capricorn. Capricorn's an interesting sign because it's half seal, half goat. So the sea goat, whatever they've called it, they've heard different names for it. What's very interesting, in ancient times, the seal living in water represented spirit. The goat lives on land, climbs mountains, so you have the spirit climbing a mountain, becoming real. So this is about achieving a great work. Taking these inspirational ideas and making them reality. That's symbolic of Capricorn. So this is a time to focus on the great work, achieving something. Look to the houses in your chart to see where Capricorn is, to see what part of your life this will affect the most and have the greatest impact on. This can be also a time to achieve your North Star, a great purpose in your life, a worthy accomplishment, or practical learning focus. So this can also be a time of great work and great learning. Hands are a little cold. I got a heater next to me. I'm here in Western New York, and it's like 11 below 0 Celsius or 12 degrees Fahrenheit, and just getting colder. So yeah, I got a little heater next to me in my kitchen so I can stay warm. Being on the wrong path. Oh gosh, this can be you trying to control others, becoming judgmental, or just becoming afraid of the future and not doing the work, or trying to control an outcome and trying to force things to happen that, not going to work that way. So there's the sun entering Capricorn, a time of great work and great achievement, ideally. And also on Sunday, Venus enters Sagittarius. Like we said, Venus, again, I should really have put that on the first side, but I'll next time. We're always learning. Venus, receiving help from others, being in relationships, rest, relaxation, creativity in Sagittarius, exploration and ideas, learning new ways of working with other people, or maybe even making, new friends, new relationships, new inspiration for creativity, new ideas, new ways of having fun. Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter likes having fun, so new ways of having fun even. This is a time to learn and work with people in new ways, also a time of connecting with new people, perhaps people you normally don't associate with, so stepping outside the box, so to speak. The shadows, slickness, manipulation for Venus, and in Sagittarius, overconfident or even there are people who are underconfident who can be very slick and manipulative. But being on the wrong path has you becoming cynical and sabotaging relationships, ruining creativity, not being able to work with people, and losing out on those opportunities. So we have Venus going into Sagittarius, and that is going to be quite a long transit as well. So if you found this helpful and you like it, you can, on my website, which I'll show you in a moment, I'm going to have to pull that up. It's one of those days. I am on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. If you shoot down to the bottom of the website, I've got direct links there. I am also on the Digital Soul Space, which is a new online website. There's a free and a paid version. Free gets you some things, paid gets you everything. And it's a spiritual coffee house, so to speak, where people with all different practices and beliefs and ideas get together and they share ideas and support each other, ask questions, receive answers, and no spam, no trolls. It's a no troll zone, which I really like. And let me pause this because I forgot to do something here. There we go. It's been one of those days. If you found this helpful, go to my website, freedomthroughastrology.com, and there you will find everything. You'll find access to everything I do. If you click on the subscribe button, it will take you to a page where you can sign up for my newsletter. You get a once a week newsletter. Rarely do I send out more. But it's a once a week newsletter where you get a summary of the major astrological events for the week, little astrological insight, and exclusive subscriber only discounts and offers. And if I'm doing a live event or anything, I will post it there as well. And all I need is an email address, get you wonderful things. If you would like an astrology reading, if you click on scheduling, this is live one-to-one. Let me get this out of the way. And I do birth chart, karmic, or past life readings. And the transit readings are the predictive readings. These are, well, they're called predictive, but this is where I look at what's going on in the sky and how it relates to like what I did with planets against planets, also planets against your natal chart, to help you learn and understand the lessons that are going on in your life at this time. So I can do that for a month, a 3-month span of time, or a year. And there's going to be more readings added into this in packages. If you do want to have like, hey, I heard this transit and I really want to know more about it and how it's going to affect me, you can schedule consultations 15, 30, and 45. It's live one-to-one. If that doesn't work for you and you need would like just a recording, if you click on services, everything I have in the readings, in the scheduling, I have in services. I just got to get those recordings fixed up. But again, the birth chart, karmic chart, all the different transits, and many of these, all the major readings, with the exception of the the 15, 30, and 45 minutes, all of these have follow-up sessions where you can bounce questions off of short follow-up sessions that you can bounce questions off of me and seek more clarification or information. And if you click on blog, I do have a blog site that I post where I do have the full transits, and there are specific transits that I do take a little bit deeper and take more into deeper understanding for you. Uh, so thank you very much. I really appreciate you watching this YouTube video. I hope you have a good week. And like I said, like, follow, where's my thing here? Thank you. Like me on the social media. Follow me and share the videos, share my postings. Thank you very much. Have yourself the best week possible. Oops.